Governor Gavin Newsom in California has just announced a massive proposal to batten down the state's hatches against wildfires, climate change, and to boost emergency preparedness, saying it is the most California has ever allotted to fighting the wildfire threat. Governor Newsom sat down to discuss that and a host of other challenges, including that possible recall election with our ABC's Zohreen Shah.
It's one of California's newest weapons in their war chest against wildfires. California Governor Gavin Newsom arriving in a new Firehawk helicopter that he says is faster and safer, ahead of announcing he's putting $2 billion more toward tackling climate change during what could be another historic fire season.
We need to be prepared for that extreme. We need to be prepared for record-breaking.
It's a pivot from battling that other extreme and record-breaking crisis raging through the state, a once-in-a-lifetime global pandemic. It's the issue that pushed over 1.6 million Californians to sign a petition to recall him, an effort that will likely land on the ballot for a vote later this year. California went from having one of the lowest COVID rates to becoming the country's coronavirus epicenter, despite some of the nation's strictest guidelines. Looking back, do you feel like you have any regrets with how you handled COVID? Anything you would have done differently?
Yeah, look, everybody's a genius. We're not just experts in hindsight, we're geniuses in hindsight. And the fact that we acted at scale in the largest state in our union, I think was significant and consequential in saving thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of lives. We've been led by science.
Part of that science contributing to the state's turnaround.
Our vaccination rates, over 36 million vaccines have been administered in this state, more than all but 5 countries in the world.
Newsom teasing he'll aim to boost those numbers soon with some motivation.
We were waiting for that first dose drop off to then pull the trigger this week. We're going to be doing a lot and making some big announcements on incentives.
A final push to get as many people fully vaccinated before June 15th, when Newsom says much of the state will return to what we remember as normal. That also means returning to some of the biggest challenges of the past. Gun violence once again soaring. Just last week, a 6-year-old California boy dying from an apparent road rage incident.
It is truly, when I say alarming, to see percentage increase, not in the margin, not 5, 10, but 100+% increase in gun-related crimes occurring post-pandemic. And to the extent the state of California needs to intervene by providing a reward or doing more to raise awareness to find the perpetrator of this crime, I promise you the state will do that if necessary and asked.
And the governor's still aware that even a year after the anniversary of George Floyd's death, there is still a lot of work to be done when it comes to policing.
That racial awakening that came from George Floyd a year ago was a wake-up call that we're not nearly where we need to be, even in a progressive state like California. We have a lot of issues that we're working on this year and negotiating with our legislature. The big one, of course, is federally as it relates to qualified immunity and what becomes of some of those national reforms, and that will allow us to conduct and adjust our efforts at the state level.
But one major issue that might be far less of a distraction than some anticipated, his own likely recall election. Unlike the challenge Gray Davis faced, California is far more blue now than it was back then, with more Democratic registered voters. Newsom seizing his seat as governor in 2018 with far more support than Davis did too. But Newsom still cautious about the likely election. Are you nervous that some of the angriest people are going to be the ones showing up when there actually is one? Are you nervous about turnout?
Yeah, of course. This is and forgive me because everything's so partisan. I don't want to add to it, but let's talk. This recall is a Republican-backed recall. I'm mindful that I have to rebuild trust. I'm mindful that I have to continue to do my job and address the big vexing issues, pre-existing issues like homelessness and housing. I take it very seriously. I take none of those on the other side lightly, but the most important thing I do is my job.
And our thanks to Zohreen for that conversation with Governor Newsom. And that special state election could take place in October or November. The governor's team estimates it will cost taxpayers at least $100 million. No official state analysis on those exact costs yet, however.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.